Hey Facebook, Gab, and to all the comrades and commissars at YouTube, this is Kevin Newsom coming to you from Houston, Texas, wishing you well on this early June afternoon. You know, I've seen a lot of good videos these days on a number of streaming services, and many great speakers out there, many great light workers, if you will, people who are helping other people out of the kindness of their own heart. I think that's a wonderful thing. I've also noticed more than a few people who just feel out of place in this world today. They feel like for one reason or another they just don't seem to fit. To those folks, I'd like to say this: it's not you that doesn't fit in the world, it's the world that's not fitting you. The good news is, for all those folks who suffer from this affliction of just kind of feeling out of sorts in the world is on the verge of a massive shift. In fact, I believe we're on the verge of seeing massive shifts, plural. Now, unfortunately, some of these are going to be quite painful. A few probably are going to be a little bit scary. But having said that, the world that you see now, the world as it is not going to last very much longer. You know, I always think back to earthquakes. And specifically when people talk about earthquakes, they always say, well, somehow the animals always know. Right before an earthquake, the animals act strangely. They run around, they get violent, they get scared, they run away, they hide, they do things they normally wouldn't do. Now, curiously enough, you talk to people about this, and generally that's about as far as they go with that line of thought. Well, animals somehow know when an earthquake's going to strike. They act strangely beforehand, and that's about as far as they go. To those people, and really to everyone watching, I'd ask you this: what's happening in the world? Specifically, what's happening with the people of the world? How are people behaving these days? Is it business as usual? Has it been business as usual for the past 5, 6, 7 years? Or are people just seemingly a little more anxious than before? A little more agitated? Perhaps prone to fits of rage? Perhaps even more violence than before? If so, if you've noticed this anecdotally, or if you've looked at some sort of data that supports this, why do you think that is? Why do you think people are so on edge these days compared to even 5 years ago? Now, a lot of people say, well, it's because of Trump or Obama or the Democrats or the Republicans. That's total BS. That's total BS. We've had controversial presidents before. We've had presidents that aren't really well liked by large segments of the population. All that's happened before. We've had wars, we've had economic crises, etc., etc. Why is it that people seem to be so much more agitated and anxious and depressed and trying to get away from themselves? Why are we seeing more and more of that? Well, my friends, I posit that we see an increase of those behaviors because we're on the cusp of something, some sort of change, and more likely some sort of changes. So, to all those who seem out of place in this world, who seem like, you know what, I don't really fit. It doesn't feel like I'm really a good fit for this planet. I just can't seem to get locked in like so many other people do and do the job and the family and everything else. I would say this: even if you have the job or the family, we are on the cusp of some massive change. And it's my belief that this uptick in anxiety, in depression, in agitation, in violence even, is a warning sign sent by nature or by God, however you want to describe it, to let us know something big is on the way. Anyway, this is Kevin Newsom coming to you from Houston, Texas, saying once again to all the people out there who really don't feel like they fit with this world, hang in there because a new one is on the way. This is Kevin Newsom coming to you from Houston, Texas, wishing all of you well whenever and wherever you're at. God bless each and every one of you. Bye.